Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is part 5, and we're going to almost finish this thing here pretty quick. I've got this group together. I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. I'm going to take that node right there, and I'm going to put this node right on that indexing line that we drew earlier for our arch. That's where our living hinge should come down to from the other side. Now, this is going to be your stopping point on your front of your box, but you need to have it go longer. So for this video, we're just going to draw a 5-inch square, 5 inches long, and we're going to bring it, I like going back to my pick tool and put it right there. And you can see we're not long enough, so we need to go past here quite a bit. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to get this out of the way. And if you use your nudge distance and you don't change your nudge distance, you can always get it back. Now we're going to want a little decorative on this, but I want my edges to start square. So I'm going to add a node with the shape tool. Guess I got to convert it to a curve. And then I'm going to add a node about right there. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be symmetrical because you're not going to make this symmetrical. And then let's add another one and another one right above it. And let's get rid of these nodes. Let's see what happens. That's not too bad. That would be not a bad start, but I'm going to do like this. And maybe bring this one down a little bit. I do not like the sharpness of this corner. So what we could do is add a node right here and bring that down. This is all your personal preference here. This is cosmetic drawing. And we need to turn this into a cusp. So we only mess up one, not mess up, but change one variation at a time. That's not bad. You'd want to play around with that, maybe even make it here and bring this back. That's not bad for the cover. We'll call that good. Now, let's bring this back up and see we've got our cover is covering our joint. So that's what we want. Let's back it up, back down. And I know for a lot of you this is going to be maybe overwhelming. But if you really take your time and go back and look at the video, because you're going to make mistakes, because Lord knows I have. I just made a mistake right there. I need to make sure my box is grouped together. So let's grab all this and Control G and get that guy together. Now, let's move this thing back up to our indexing line. We don't really need to move this one. He's really going to be in our way, so we're going to put him back down. We're almost done, folks. But right here, we need to create a latch. And well, I'll tell you what, the latch has to be somewhere between here and here. Okay, so let's just draw a indexing line. This is the top of the inside of the box. Okay, we can get the inside of the box away now, just to be less confusing. So we need to put a latch right here. So we could do that very easily. We can't really take away one of these because of the fact that it's, well, it doesn't really matter where the latch is. But you're going to draw a 0.13 inch line. We're going to make it 0.14 Well, let's tell you what, let's make it 0.15. We want a little bit of room in there, because this is where our wood is going to fit into by 0.5 inches long. And we want that guy, let me zoom in here. And please, if you try to make this, just take your time and make a bunch of test cuts. So now we really need this latch on that edge. Okay. I hit something with my hand. And then we're going to take and Control D, a duplicate of that, holding down the control button and moving it over to that edge. As long as they're the same. Now, for just a second, we're going to take our side piece and get out of the way, and we're going to virtual segment delete that. This is what our joint is going to fit into. And remember, we gave it a little bit extra room. Now we just need to make a latch. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take away this joint. It's got plenty on the front. We just need to take away this joint, and we'll go ahead and do that. I'm just hitting the delete key and turning this one into a line. I don't know why it's doing that. Select both those and make it a line. Delete the outer two, hit delete, grab the inner two, right click, and turn it into a line. Now we're back to where we need to be. And we need a latch. So let's draw a rectangle that is twice the distance of our wood. We gave it it's 13 plus 15, because well, that didn't really matter. Let's go 0.26 wide by 0.3 right now would be good, because our latches. And this is the tricky part. And this is the part you might mess up the most, because Lord knows I have. And this is going to be our latch that's going to connect this cover. So where do you put it? Do you put it here or here? Depending on how much flex your plywood has is the key. And plywood is cheap. 1/8 inch plywood is relatively cheap. Let's make this a little bit longer. And then let's take a 0.3 box by, let's go 0.15. And let's put it in here. And I'm not snap to something. And trust me, this will work. Then we're going to take our virtual segment delete key and delete that. And we're going to delete this. Whoop. See, I must not have been perfectly on that line. I'm not. So go through, just kind of redo that, get it to snap to it. Now I'm not on the inside line. Now it should work. Yep. See my joint? That's going to be where this tab is going to go up into. And you might have to play around with that. But keep in mind, this is going to take, what's going to take the time to cut out is this piece. When you're assembling it, this piece is nothing. I mean, it's only 4 inches by 3 inches. So this is, and yours might even be smaller. So if the latch doesn't fit, move the latch down. It's that easy. Or move it up. And then let's make sure we did this right. Let's take the parallel dimension tool. Let's zoom in here, because this is our opening where our plywood has to fit into. And we're at 0.13. I want it to be 14. So I'm going to change my nudge distance to 0.01. I'm going to grab my I'm going to grab these two nodes and I'm just going to put them over one notch. Take our virtual segment delete key and delete that other part. Now I'm going to weld this together real quick, or I'm actually going to color smart fill it. Now let's nudge it over. Now whenever you do that, move back the same amount. I nudged over on a little number. Let's nudge over 2 inches. Left click, right click. Because the reason we want to do that is we want a little bit of roundness to this latch. And I can already kind of tell that that latch might not be the best latch I've ever made. Turn these into a curve. And then take and just give yourself a little carrying that you took some thought into it. It won't be sharp. It'll actually be a little stronger, be a little bit longer, but it is going to affect your latch mechanism. You just need to make sure. Now let's take it and move this thing over back to, let's put it back to 1 inch. And just to make sure our latch fits inside of our hole, and it does. There's plenty of room there. Let's tell you what, let's do this. That's what it's going to look like. It's going to actually look like that. But you've got plenty of movement for the flex between the two joints. We're almost done. I think I'm going to pause. I would like to keep going with this video, but I'm trying to keep them a little shorter. So we're done. Before we do that, you need to make a duplicate of this, Control D, because you need 2 of these. You only need 1 of these, and you only need 1 of these, but you need the outside. And now we're going to work on the bottom, and then we'll be done, thankfully. Anyway, hope that helped a little bit. Thank you.